What is the definition of law? It is a philosophical question that keeps many scholars occupied all their lives, and one that has many different answers. To the knightly orders of the Hellknights, however, there can be only one answer, and those who will not obey it deserve to be expelled, exiled, or exterminated. From their mighty citadels, Hellknights spread their vision of law through the power of their conviction and the sharpness of their blades. Integrated into the military forces of Cheliax, the Hellknights have built a reputation of being merciless knights who do not fear hell itself, and will stop at nothing to maintain law in a cosmos they often view as too chaotic and unstructured. Join me today as we dive into the origins of the Hellknights and learn about their most prominent orders. Discover what drives these zealots of oppressive law, and how some of them defy the stereotype, and even the current rulers of Cheliax. The history of the Hellknights begins with injustice. In 4575 AR, the city of Westcrown was plagued by a series of ritual murders known as the White Plague, which were linked to the Path of Grace. The Path was a cult of the demon lord Sifkesh, and Wiskrani law enforcement was unable to properly deal with these cultists. The fact that these criminals disguised themselves as faithful followers of Eredin and were often members of the ruling elite further complicated investigations into their crimes. This allowed the Path of Grace to escape justice for a long time, leading to many victims within Westcrown. Among them was the wife of the Eredinite Dadian Ruel. When a few months after her death, his son took his life after being influenced by the Path of Grace, Dadian sought justice for these crimes through official channels. However, he was denied pursuing those who were responsible for the death of his wife and son. What could one man do against this injustice? His chance to seek punishment for the killers of his family, when the powerful were corrupt and backed those who broke laws and caused chaos. One man could not accept this. One man could not sit by idly as law was not upheld, and every day more would suffer under rulers who were unable and unwilling to uphold the foundations of a lawful society. And so, Dadian Ruel decided to take action. He renounced his faith in Eredin, for what good was his belief in this god of humanity if he would not smite those who committed crimes so blatantly, and gathered around him a group of vigilantes from those who had also suffered at the hands of the Path of Grace. Together, they hunted down members of the cult and apprehended them. Of course, the Path of Grace did answer these actions. Using their influence, they worked to free their members soon after their arrest. Once again, Dadian Ruel saw how law was ignored, which allowed dangerous people to roam the streets again. Against the orders of the Wiskrani Dotari, the law enforcement of Westcrown, Ruel and his fellow vigilantes harmed and killed the freed cultists, so that they could not continue their vile deeds. Ruel and some of his compatriots were imprisoned in 4576 AR. He himself did not object to this. Finally, law had been applied, and in line with his own philosophy, he was willing to accept the consequences of his actions. However, just hours after his arrest, some of the remaining members of his posse broke him out of prison against his orders, and together, they fled to the dilapidated and abandoned Fort Rivad. Soon after, Dadian Ruel returned to Westcrown, where King Gaspadar himself witnessed Ruel's famous speech called Merciless. In this oratory masterpiece, Ruel was able to give words to the importance of law and the dangerous and chaotic elements born from the corruption of those who were meant to uphold it. King Gaspereau was so moved by this passionate speech that he gave a royal pardon to Ruel and his companions, and commissioned Ruel to form knightly orders that were meant to uphold law and order within Cheliax. And thus, the Hellknights were born. Their name taken from insults Eridanites flung at Dadian Ruel for his public renouncement of Eredon. Dadian Ruel, still tormented by the death of his loved ones, believed that his son's soul was damned to hell itself. Together with his fellow Hell Knight and friend Shiel Larung, he summoned and interrogated devils to find out if his son's soul was truly damned to such a fate. In this manner, Ruel also learned more about how the legions of Hell were structured and incorporated these structures into the orders of the Hell Knights. After a fire in Citadel Revat in 4589 AR, Dadian Ruel disappeared. Some say that certain devils might know where he went, but he has never returned to Golarion. Elegois Thels succeeded Ruel as commander of the Hell Knights and implemented force organizations based on those of the ancient Gistka Imperium. Ever since then, new Hell Knight orders have been founded, and others vanished. However, these knightly orders still have a powerful position within Cheliax and outside of the devil-worshipping nation. Their reputation of blind adherence to their interpretation of law casts fear and dread into the hearts of people, and though their name was born from an insult taken as a badge of honor, they have become closer to hell than their founder might have intended. Though each Hell Knight order has slight differences, the general structure of each order is identical. Starting from the bottom of the hierarchy, Armigers form the Hell Knights in training. Their training ends when they pass the Hell Knights test, a trial in which they have to destroy a devil summoned from hell. Armigers who pass this trial become full Hell Knights. Hell Knights who focus on magic and spellcasting are known as signifiers. Within most orders, Hell Knights hold a higher rank than signifiers and are allowed to command them on the battlefield. The only exception can be found within the Order of the Gate, in which signifiers rank above Hell Knight. Above both Hell Knights and signifiers are Merelictors. There are Merelictors with honorary titular or ritual titles, such as the Arms Merelictor or Gate Merelictor. These are of lesser rank and report to the full Merelictors. Further up on the force organization are the Paralictors, who report to the Master or Mistress of Blades, or Paravicar. The Master or Mistress of Blades commands the martial forces of an order, while the Paravicar is in charge of the spellcasters. Both of these ranks are in equal standing and only report to the highest rank within an order, the Lictor. Once again an exception, the Order of the Gate is the only order not led by a Lictor, but by a Vicarius. Under Dadian Ruel, there were no separate Hell Knight orders. The original Hell Knights, as they were established by him on order of King Gaspereau, functionally all existed within one large force. After his disappearance in 4589 AR, Elegois Thels became their new leader, and after his implementation of a new force organization, would in 4609 establish the first 5 orders of the Chain, the Gate, the Pyre, the Scourge, and the Thorn. In 4638 AR, another reorganization led to a few new orders being established and existing ones being restructured. Today, there are 7 major orders still active, each of these focusing on establishing order within their view of law. While most of these orders operate from headquarters within Cheliax, some can be found outside of the nation. All men lift themselves upon the backs of others is the creed of the Order of the Chain. According to this order, a servant should serve their master, and if they adhere to law and their place, might even rise through the ranks if it is their purpose to do so. Those who break away from their station or attempt to upset the order in which society is built are hunted by the Order of the Chain and brought back into line. This order does not oppose slavery and believes that the proverbial chain binds both ways. The order hunts escaped slaves, but also punishes slave owners, ship captains, commanders, and other people in positions of power who exploit their servants. In many places, including the River Kingdoms, the Order of the Chain is not welcome because of their support of slavery. This order operates from Citadel Geradesca near Corentin in Cheliax. As much headquarters as a prison, the order keeps their prisoners within the citadel until they are returned to their masters, sold off into servitude, or draft them into forced labor for the order. Lictor Uru Adam leads the order, and is constantly in negotiations with various nations to move their highest-risk criminals to Citadel Geradesca in exchange for tithe towards the order. In 4599 AR, Dadian Rule's ally and fellow Hell Knight Sheol was tasked by Lictor Alagois Thels to found the Order of the Gate. With Larung being a great wizard himself, this order drew in many spellcasters and is the only Hell Knight order in which signifiers and other magic users outnumber their martial brothers in arms. The Order of the Gate believes that punishment is a failure of law. Crimes should be prevented before they can even occur. This order believes that no amount of rhetoric will convince everyone to adhere to law and not consider crime, and therefore, other means must be used to quell even the thought of it before it arises in the minds of the people. As such, members of this order study magic to find new ways of scrying and reading the future. These Hell Knights also explore other planes, searching for secrets and new knowledge there. Gate signifiers are known to bind extraplanar creatures to their service, which they use to do their dirty work. This order's portents and future sights can be cloaked in occult descriptions, but the other orders have learned to respect the insides of the Order of the Gate, as they have helped them on several occasions. The Order's headquarters are in Citadel Enferak, in the Menador Mountains of Cheliax. There are rumors surrounding this order, linked to the gate in their name. According to these stories, a portal to hell can be found within their citadel, and Sheol Larung has become a lich who regularly visits hell to aid Dadian Rule in his ongoing quest of finding his son's soul. Members of the Order dismiss these rumors, however, explaining their name as a metaphor for their interest in forces from other planes of existence. It is easy to believe that Hell Knights have some fealty to devils and hell itself, but the Order of the Godclaw is pledged to more than just the Prince of Darkness. Born from a group of Order of the Rag Hell Knights in 4623 AR, the Order of the Godclaw follows the lawful edicts of a pantheon of 5 deities they serve: Abadar, Asmodeus, Iomade, Irori, and Torak. Their faith in these deities and their own lawful convictions means that this order boasts a large number of Hell Knights with divine power, be that as clerics of a deity, champions, or in other forms. The Order of the Godclaw fights disorder and chaos wherever it arises. All Hell Knight orders seek to spread the rule of law, but members of the Godclaw do this with religious zeal and fervor. Wherever this order appears, they seek to enforce strict laws and destroy any agents of chaos. Members of this order also join crusades against chaotic foes. Most notably, the order was formed after its original members participated in the First Mendevian Crusade into the Worldwound, earning much renown in their fight against demons. To this day, Godclaw Hell Knights gladly join such crusades, empowering them with their martial prowess and endless faith in their deities. When they are not out fighting incarnations of chaos or enforcing ever stricter iterations of law, members of this order call Citadel Dinyar in Isgar their home. Beyond civilization lies danger to order and structure. Hellknights of the Order of the Nail believe that if the frontiers of the world are allowed to have their way, they will prey on civilization and drag it into a mire of lawlessness. As such, these Hellknights protect civilization and work to subjugate the wilderness surrounding cities and villages. The Order of the Nail is stationed in Citadel Vrate near Corvosa in Varissia, and the local populace has a strained relationship with these Hellknights. While they have defended the city on several occasions and tamed some of the wilds surrounding it, the city's population and even law enforcement fear and despise the Hellknights' own brand of justice and order. Knowledge is dangerous in the philosophy of the Order of the Pyre, as they take it upon themselves to purge dangerous cults and destroy faith and philosophies they deem wrong or corrupting. This includes what the Order calls insidious ways of thinking, such as revolutionary thoughts or ideas of uprising against the ruling class. Beliefs and ideals that are acceptable to this order are all rooted in Cheliaxian tradition, though they generally also accept worship of any major deity found in the Inner Sea region. Those who deviate from these ideas, however, are hunted, killed with steel, or burned by fire. The Order of the Pyre has many strongholds throughout Cheliax, as their witch hunts take them all over the nation. Their headquarters are Citadel Crane, found in Ostenso in Cheliax. Here, the Order keeps what is called the Godless Gallery, a collection of artifacts and writings they took from cults and faith destroyed by the Order. These items are either indestructible or still have potential to be used against the people who created or worshipped them. This collection is well guarded, only accessible by the Order's Lictor, Master of Blades, and Paravicar. The Order of the Rag is by many considered to be the archetype of Hellknights. This order enforces the status quo of Cheliax, raiding homes of those who plan to rise against their rulers and preventing groups such as unions and revolutions from forming. In that aspect, the Order of the Rag has similarities with the Order of the Pyre, though the latter is focused on keeping religious and philosophical standards, while the former aims to safeguard the societal and cultural status quo. This order sees the values and mores of Cheliax as what has to be protected, considering foreign ideas and innovation heretical. Art and technology are not to be trusted, as these are ways of spreading new ideas and upsetting the rightful order of things. Part of maintaining this status quo are the Order's revisioning of Cheliaxian history. Rewriting history to present themselves as positive as possible, while making their opposers seem vile and evil, is a regular task of the Order. Every 3 months, the Order publishes a new edition of the official written history of Cheliax, and gathers old copies to destroy them. This Order understands what power there is in controlling the narrative, and they will tell you what is the truth, no matter how many objective facts you present. Residing in Citadel Ravad outside of Westcrown, the Order organizes regular clarity pyres, in which old editions of the history of Cheliax and other banned texts are publicly burned, and thus officially removed from the canon of Cheliaxian history. The final major order is the Order of the Scourge. They believe that lawlessness is born in anonymity, and surveillance and information are the key to keeping the peace. Knights of this order are excellent in espionage and acquisition of information, but the Order also employs a vast network of spies and informants. Punishments are performed publicly, however, to remind civilians of the price of breaking the law and trying to hide lawless deeds in dark shadows. The Order of the Scourge even has informants within House Thrune, investigating rumors of corruption within the ruling family. The Order's base is located in Citadel Domain, just west of Egorian. Rumor has it that this fortress has a secret tunnel leading into the Barrowwood, as a means of escape should House Thrune ever turn on the knightly orders. Also, it is said the legendary full-plate armor known as the Ebon Thorn, is kept in Citadel domain. This armor used to belong to Lictor de Levos, leader of the destroyed Order of the Thorn. Talking about destroyed orders, the Order of the Thorn was not the only order that has been lost to time. For example, the Order of the Crux was born during the Cheliaxian Civil War, but refused to disband after the Revolution. After being hunted down by the Order of the Scourge, 3 of its members returned as Grave Knights in 4688 AR. This undead trio now haunts the border between Nidal and Cheliax. Another destroyed order is the Order of the Vice, which focused on extraplanar threats. The entire order was wiped out during a mysterious attack on its headquarters of Citadel Darvage, on the northern coast of Lake Sorrow in Cheliax. The ruins of the Citadel are still haunted by strange phenomena, and some believe that this order has been wiped out by an alien foe who did not take kindly to their meddling. The various Hellknight orders are seen as an essential part of Cheliax's military might and law enforcement, and so it is easy to assume that all of these knightly orders blindly serve Abigail II and her family. However, that is not entirely the case. All Hellknight orders have their own agenda and view on what they consider the meaning of law. Though many can align themselves with House Thrune's definition of this word, these orders would be capable of acting against a royal family should their acts no longer be in line with an order's interpretation of law. Next to that, there are already Hellknight orders that have a contentious relationship with House Thrune. As mentioned earlier, the Order of the Scourge has spies within the royal palaces, investigating rumors of corruption and insidious behavior. Some say that House Thrune has contacted the legendary Red Mantis assassins to deal with these infiltrators. If this is true, it shows how much Abigail II fears the Order, and what they might expose. Another, lesser order that surely is no supporter of House Thrune's rule is the Order of the Torrent. Originating in Kintargo during Cheliaxian rule, the order was expelled from the city during the Kintargan Rebellion, but returned after Ravenel gained independence. Members of the Order of the Torrent hunt kidnappers and rescue victims. These Hellknights abhor slavery and forced servitude. Their vision of law is a more righteous one, so much that they have good relations with the freedom fighters of the Silver Ravens. If one looks for a Hellknight order that embodies a good form of law, one must seek out the Order of the Torrent. Cheliax and the Hellknight orders face a challenging future. More and more pieces of the once impressive Cheliaxian Empire are falling away, and the people rise against the oppressive rule of House Thrune. The Hellknights who stand on the site of this infernal house will have their mettle tested, or perhaps decide to continue their fight for their vision of law elsewhere. Whatever the outcome will be, these arbiters clad in dark steel who fight devils and with convictions stronger than the weapons they wield will not easily give up their quest and will force their ideals on the world around them until the last of their orders is turned to dust. Thank you for watching this video about Hellknights. Have you played a Hellknight, or have they featured in any of your games? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Once again, thank you for watching, stay safe, take care, and bye-bye.